Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. This is Brother Tazapah here with your daily lunch special. And today we got a guest chef, all right? Elder Manatazakbad, in this lesson he did a little earlier today, all right? The Hebrew Israelite social media drama demon, all right? This is the brother's video. All right. And in the video, you had this woman that you see here. All right. Okay, so anyway, because she's going on about how she's unhappy in her marriage. And in the lesson, that's what Elder Manatazakbach was dealing with, you know. And he was making a good point, saying we wasn't set up to be marriage counselors. That's not what this thing of ours is about. All right, and every man, this is why we're given the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, so that we can sit on our own bottom. Like my nanny used to say, every tub got to sit on its own bottom. Or I grew up with them old sayings. And, no, but we all have to stand on our own 2 feet, and sometimes, yeah, you need help. All right? As, you know, and that's, you know, you have to call, you know, you have to get into that. And this is what, you know, I kind of wanted to go into, and it's on the heels of yesterday's lesson dealing with the rite of passage. All right, in the bar mitzvah, when Hebrew Israelite men turn 12, they become of age. They become men, young men. All right, and they're able to marry and take on wives. You know, and so that's one of the things that is even in Babylon. Are you in the truth? Even the elder mentioned this. Relationships are hard. And especially being married in America and all of this temptation around us. And the brother even spoke on that. Everything is sexualized. All right, they sell you a car. Look at the curves. Look at, how it's shining. And you even got a thing where these Edomites have sex with cars. Everything is sexualized. All right. And so this is what Paul was saying, man. I want to go to 1 Corinthians 7. I'm going to start at verse 27. It says, "Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed." All right. And this go for the wife. If you bound to a husband, it is what it is. All right. So art thou bound to a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. If thou take a wife, you ain't no sin in that, because Paul made he made that disclaimer in verse 25. All right, this is 1 Corinthians 7 and 25. Now concerning virgins, I have no commandment of the Lord, right? As you taking a virgin. All right. It said, yet I give my judgment. He's giving his judgment as a man. And it says, as one that obtained mercy of the Lord to be faithful. I suppose, therefore, that this is good. For the present distress, I say, that it is good for a man to be so. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not a wife. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she had not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. Paul gave you the best advice speaking as a man, because you cannot command a man not to take a wife unless that man, well, no, you cannot. You can't command a man, you can't get married. You know, I'm trying to think if there's any exceptions. None come to me right now, but if I'm missing something, if you could put it in the comment board. I guess unless you take a pledge of celibacy, but that's you, you know. Can't nobody command you to do that. You know? So this is why Paul said this is not commandment. You know, he speaks out of the mercy that was given unto him. You know? And so, but that's the best advice. If you can get by without dealing with a woman, well, what other better way to serve the Lord? The scriptures say, attend to the Lord without distraction. A wife is a distraction. You know? Yeah, that don't mean it's bad. But you have to tend to her. Okay? And so, the point here, where I'm going with this, is what Paul said, nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. And a lot of men, they just think, you know, because Paul said, you know, this is not by commandment, they think, I guess, that they can get around this. But he's speaking to human nature. You cannot get around human nature being in the flesh. You get around human nature by dwelling in the spirit. And this is what Paul is saying. I would that thou wert like me. And you can bypass the trouble in the flesh. However, if you take a wife, you're not going to bypass that. She's not going to let you. Again, human nature. All right, because she's not putting off the old woman. She's coming into this relationship, even if she calls herself a Hebrew Israelite, she's coming into your relationship with a Babylonian mindset. They cannot shake it. Why? Because Babylon gave them the power. People do not relinquish power. It has to be taken. That's why Daniel 7:25 says that the saints shall take the kingdom. Yes, because Esau is not going to hand it over. That's nature. Well, that's the nature of power. Who gives up power? Have you ever given up power freely? I know niggas that lead a camp because they can't be heads. They can't be the head, so they say, fuck it. Ain't that some shit? They say, to hell with this truth, to hell with Yahushua, cause I can't be head. Ain't that some shit? And the point is, no one gives up power. Babylon has given these women power. They refuse to relinquish it. They gonna come into your relationship, oh, shalom, my husband, and they gonna say all the good shit. But Babylon is in their heart. This is one of the things that the Lord had a problem with, y'all calling me Lord. He said, why callest thou me Lord and you not obeying me? All right? And our women are a reflection of us, men, as a nation. All right? The same way our women treat us is the same way we treated Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua as a comely and delicate woman. This is Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 2. And it says, so I can't see in this sun, it says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. All right? So I've greater understood my role in relationship to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, all right, by observing and understanding the relationship between me and my woman, how she, you know, Well, her actions and behavior toward me is exactly the way that we treated Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Stiff-necked, hard-hearted, rebellious as hell. You know, and I get it. You know, as a man of understanding, as men of understanding, we get it. You think a woman gets it? Only thing real to them and that matters to them are their emotions. That's their truth. All right? This is why the apostle said, don't waste your time trying to teach a woman. Their emotions are their truth. And guess what? Their emotions are all over the place. They change by the minute. And you sit here, you try to appease these women, then when you don't have time to serve the Lord. Because they're never happy. You could give them the world, but shit, I want Mars. Now, I know you gave me the world, but what's wrong with Mars? There's no pleasing them. You know? And so the woman, she was on there, was talking about her marriage, nobody helped her, the elders didn't, you know, her cries fell on deaf ears and all of that. You know, Kevin Samuel said it the best. And I've been saying this. All right, because I didn't watch Kevin Samuels like that. I catch some of the shorts. But, and I even said this at camp years ago and just a short while back. You stupid if you're looking for happiness, especially in Babylon. When did the Lord ever tell you your ass was to come here to be happy? You got that shit from Esau and Babylon that you're supposed to be happy. Look up happy, which we did on the block. This was maybe a month ago. It's going to take you to the root hap, H-A-P. Hap means luck. You get happy, you just got lucky. But that shit is going to fade away. As happiness is fleeting. It's able in the Hebrew, abal. Is that abal? Transitory. All right? It comes and it goes. That's the nature of happiness. It wasn't meant for it's not a state that was meant for you to be in for extended periods of time. That's not real. What's real is sweat, is tears, is blood. All right, that's what's real. No, don't get me wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with happiness, but don't think that's supposed to be a sustained state that you're supposed to be in. Because that's a state of luck. What you want to shoot for is joy. All right? And that's what Yahweh Shai offers us. Joy. Let me see what they got for joy. What y'all got in here for joy? Let's find a good one. I'm going to go to the song and see what they're talking about. Oh, King David got some good ones. Psalm 16:11. Thou wilt show me the path of life. Right. That's Yahweh Shai, the straight and narrow. That's the path of life. Yahweh Shai. Let's see what else it says. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. In his presence. You see? That's one or two things. Because, you know, discrepancies gonna come. You know what I mean? In relationships. That's why, again, even Elder Menatazak says relationships are hard. You got to put in work. And that's what the woman don't want to do. And then the brother from D.C. just put out a lesson talking about America has made women to become idolized. I agree 100%. And this is their mindset coming to you that you should kiss their ass. Under that vibration of the Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, all right, and Ainana with the Il Nana. All right, this is a demon that has plagued us from forever. All right, an ancient demon that the Lord is coming to take care of. The Queen of Heaven woman worship spirit. But let's read this again. Psalm 16:11, thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. This is where you want to be, in the presence of the Lord. All right? So when it gets to that bad, it's just like the elder said. She just had a demon, just wanted to go. Some people just want to get on the internet and goddamn be seen. And you women especially want to be heard. Y'all want to be seen and heard. And it's enough of that. We need silent, loving women who know their place, who are willing to put in the work to make a relationship work. You take some of the stress off a man. We won't get that on this side. I mean, some brothers may have it, but wholesale, we're not gonna get it. Yeah, I'm gonna take you here, but that's my point. That's a beautiful scripture. Fullness of joy is in the presence of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. I couldn't have said it no better. And I want to go here before we get up out of here. We said Ecclesiastes 7. Yes. I really wanted to, well, I kind of wanted to go to Ephesians, but let's get this. Now, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 25, and it says, I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things. All right, that's what a man do. A man want to understand things, how things work, cycles and rhythms. That's what the king, you read Ecclesiastes, the first 3 chapters, he's talking about cycles. All right? What it really looked like the first 4 or 5, but definitely the first 3. You know, he go in a time to kill, a time to make alive. He's dealing with cycles. All right? And there's some deep wisdom in this book right here. But check it out. He said, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death, the woman. If anybody would know, King Solomon would know. And I find more bitter than death, the woman, whose heart is nets and snares. All right? So, it ain't just women in general, but women whose heart is nets and snares. Unfortunately for us today, that's the majority of the women. Because Babylon had programmed them this way. This is why the scriptures say a man shall be reduced to a piece of bread, because America, Babylon, has programmed women to see us as an ATM machine, basically. Their sustenance. Which that's fine. All right? When you giving back, when you putting back. But this is the nets and snares part. They don't want to put back. They want to get you caught up. lock that baby in. That's 18 months of a free check. 18 months. That's 18 years of free money. That child gonna get neglected. He gonna get the bare minimum. Dealing with the end of it, he gonna get the bare minimum, and the majority of that man's hard-earned money is gonna go to her. And this is how I know a lot of what she was saying is, I just don't believe it. And especially if she talking about getting physical, is you crazy? Who really hitting women today? Knowing that they don't need a witness, they don't even need a plausible story that makes sense. All they need to do, and you don't even have to touch them. And they can call the police on you and have you hauled off in your shit or out of your own home. So who really just, and I don't know if she was saying it was getting physical, but Jake ain't out here. You do have some men that get like that, but no, it's too much of a risk. Ain't nobody want to go to jail, but Jake is emotional. Jake don't have control of his emotions, going back to yesterday's lesson, which I just scratched the surface. It's a lot to unpack with our people. But you can sum it up under the curses. We're cursed. All right? And this is, let's read on. All right? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is nets, or whose heart is snares and nets. That's to entrap. Nets are to catch. All right? Snares are to trap. All right? Catch and trap. And her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her. All right? But the sinner shall be taken by her. So the Lord gonna make a way for you to get out. And that's why Paul said, well, if thou loose from a wife, seek not to be bound. That was the Lord getting you out of that shit. Don't go back and get back in it. All right? But the sinner shall be taken by her. Behold, this have I found, said the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account which yet my soul seeketh. But I find not one man, seeketh, but I find not. Which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. All right. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. And you think you're going to find her in Babylon? Of course you're not. And I don't know if I hope that's not what brothers thinking. I hope brothers have more sense than to, know you're not going to get a right woman on this side. As Apostle Tahar said, and I agree, these women with the head wraps and the Shalom brothers, and they the worst ones. Because then they learn a little bit, now they correcting you. They holier than you. Now they think that give them equal footing with you. And so now, and this is what I'm saying, that's a Babylonian mindset, that equality. They'll say, oh, it's cool to have more than one wife. Then when it come down to the brass tacks, I'm out. And this it'd be trivial. And that's what, I don't know that situation, the latest situation with her, and that's what Elder Menatazakba say. You don't bring your home shit to the internet. You don't even bring it to the church. Unless it's just something serious. But yeah, going back to Kevin Samuels, he said, a woman said, oh, am I supposed to be miserable? So I'm supposed to be unhappy? And Kevin hit her with, no, you're supposed to be an adult. And this is what we don't get. We get little girls that want to try to run grown men. and not be adults and be women and get in their goddamn, it ain't goddamn, get in their blessed place. I said that because I get pissed off. It's too easy. It's too easy. And they don't want to do it. It's just putting in work. It ain't like you got to figure out this ancient mystery to, oh, how do I get this? I don't know. The people been in relationships from the history of man. Now at this point, we can't get it fucking right. And just before women's liberation, another Kevin Samuel stat, we were 80% married. Now, after women's liberation, it's 80% baby mamas. Women refuse to put in the work. This is why King Solomon said, and among those, it said, but a woman among all those have I not found. Lo, this only have I found that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. So here it is, we didn't have the truth. As a whole, women's liberation, and relationships work fine. What's wrong today? Yeah, I know niggas got problems. You women got more problems. But men in this truth are in this truth to work out their problems. And all the brothers I know, they just want a good woman. They ain't beating their women. They not unfair. If anything, they let their women get away with too much. If anything. So, you know, again, I don't know what was going on, but knowing the nature of a woman, it was probably a little of nothing. And she saw an opportunity. And I could be wrong. But I'm not wrong about human nature. And the nature of you women. Y'all don't want to do the work to make religion. And not all, I know it's exceptions. For the most part, y'all don't want to put in the work. And then everything falls on us. And you get mad, you get upset. Oh, he did this, he did that, or he didn't do this. And, okay, well, the Lord gonna sort it out. All right, let the Lord sort it out. And he gave the best advice. Tell them not to zakbah. You pray. What's wrong with that? What better counsel can you get than going to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai? But they want an immediate answer. You see? But anyway, man, I'm out. To the next one, Shalom.